It pisses me off. Like, okay, I spent several years being patriotic. Fuck the haters, and that's how it is, YouTube. Nah, stupid fucking lighter. Fuck you. Stupid fucking lighter. Hey, lighter, fuck you. Oh, you don't like being beat up. You don't like it. You don't like it. You don't fucking like it. Then maybe you shouldn't fucking go against the grain, stupid fuck. I'll beat you up, you piece of shit. God damn it! I broke my fucking cigarette. Fuck! Fucking social media doesn't give a shit. Fuck you! Fuck you fucking touching me, you piece of fucking shit, you! And fuck this! And of course my drink has to spill. I lose my fucking temper over these stupid fucking assholes. And no one's gonna feel sorry for me, because it's just like you did it to yourself, dude. You had a fucking drink combo, and you had to lose your fucking autistic temper. Spill it for yourself, fucking bullshit. Get the fuck out of my way, stupid fucking hat. Stupid fucking piece of shit, fucking hat. Fuck you, oh it's here. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You fucking piece of goddamn shit. Fuck you, you stupid fucking bottle. Stay on the fucking desk, stay on the fucking desk, you piece of shit. Fuck you, I told you how many times did I fucking tell you to stay on the fucking desk. Fucking stay on the desk, I told you 1,000 times. Fuck you, fuck you, you stupid fuck. You wanna fall off the desk to beat you, and no one asked you to beat you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, I don't care if I got a nasty fucking temper. Fuck you, stay the fuck in my hand, you piece of shit. I'll smoke you until you're dead. Fuck you, don't care if anyone cited me, I'm fucking miserable. I'm just making the best of every day. That's all you can do, YouTube. That's all I can do. Temper, fuck you. Stay the fuck in my hand, you piece of shit. I'll smoke you until you're dead. Fuck you, don't care if anyone cited me. I'm fucking miserable, I'm just making the best of every day. That's all you can do, YouTube. That's all I can do.
Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around. TV Underground has the best video clips in town. TV Underground has the best video clips around.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another afternoon DP stream. Welcome back. Just doing another morning stream, trying to get a little closer to the tip goal. If you want to help us get a little closer, it's pinned at the top of the chat right there. Send us your thoughts and prayers. So Trump was awarded Patriot of the Year, whatever that means. We're going to check that out. Here's a little story about Trump giving the Patriot of the Year award. It's like, can you just create an organization and create an award? It's kind of like Derek Savage's 420 awards. He should give out a 420 award for Patriot of the Year now. I'd like that. Here it is.
I just want to say we're going to bring prices down. We're going to make our country safe. We're going to stop people from robbing our stores and hurting our people. We're going to, and we'll get involved with governors, including Democrat governors, because that's unfortunately, whether you like it or not, that's where the crime is. It's in virtually every case, it's with Democrat-run cities and states.
That's not true.
We're going to stop it. We're going to work with the governors
Most cities are Democrat, by the way, even in red states.
and the mayors, even if they're Democrats, and we're going to get it down. And we're going to bring our country back, and it's going to be bigger and better and stronger than ever before. And we're going to be proud of our country again. Right now, we're not so proud of our country. We're going to be very proud of our country again. It's going to be better than ever before. It's going to be more successful than ever before. We're going to be more respected throughout the world than ever before. Countries are going to respect us again. They already do, actually. I think you have seen more happen in the last 2 weeks than you've seen in the last 4 years, and we're not even there yet. We're not even there yet. So I just want to thank, this is a fantastic group of people. This is a fantastic turnout. This is very impressive. And you're my friends. You're my friends, and we're going to be friends with this country.
He's just rambling. Get ready for this. 4 more years of this. Every day. This guy jerking himself off about how cool he is.
And we're going to do something
That's
that
what
I've
it
been
is.
talking about for 8 years. We had it done. We created the most successful economy in the history of our country. We were doing so good. Our border was the lowest numbers ever, the lowest.
Our border was the lowest numbers ever. What does he mean by that? Our border was the lowest numbers ever.
Number of illegal immigrants coming into our border that we ever had. The famous chart. Do you remember the chart that I looked over to the right? Ooh.
I mean, less people crossing illegal also means, for whatever reason, less people want to come here. That's another thing. Less people trying to cross in.
Ooh. I still have that throbbing feeling. That beautiful chart that I looked over.
That throbbing feeling.
Well, that chart showed we had the best immigration, the lowest number of people in the history of our country recorded. In the history of our country, that's what we achieved. And we're going to achieve it again, and very fast. It's going to be very fast because we have no choice. But we're going to do something that I've been talking about for 8 years. We're going to do it again, and we have to do it again. And that's, we're going to make America great again. Thank you all very much. Thank you
He's
very
the
much.
Patriot of the Year.
Tyrus. Thank you, Tyrus.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
He's the Patriot of the Year. Here's a little bit about Pete Hegseth, however you say his name. Because people want him to step down as the nominee for Secretary of Defense, and he's not doing it. He's not going to do a Matt Gaetz.
Overnight, President-elect Trump on New York's Long Island accepting Fox News' annual Patriot of the Year.
Oh, it's Fox News' award. I didn't even know that. And Sean Hannity presented it to him. God.
Win, and we have to bring our country back.
It comes as Pentagon pick Pete Hegseth is fighting to salvage his defense secretary nomination, wrapping up a week of meetings with Senate Republicans.
I'm here with the support of President Donald Trump.
Still, Hegseth has yet to erase questions about his alleged drunken behavior and a 2017 sexual assault allegation, both of which he denies. No charges were ever filed in the assault case, which police investigated. But some Republicans, like Iowa's Joni Ernst, a sexual violence survivor, say they remain undecided.
I think for a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared.
And another of the president-elect's picks, Tulsi Gabbard, up for Director of National Intelligence, is also drawing new scrutiny on Capitol Hill. NBC News obtaining this letter from nearly 100 former diplomats, national security, and intelligence officials saying they're alarmed by the selection, urging Senate leaders to hold closed-door hearings on her nomination that would allow them to review all information available to the U.S. government about Gabbard. Making their debut together on the Hill,
Their debut. Bert and Ernie.
billionaires Elon Musk and Vivek
They're a cute couple, aren't they?
Ramaswamy, who Trump has tasked with finding ways to slash federal spending. The two visiting lawmakers who would have to approve any suggested cuts.
Elon and Vivek talked about having a naughty list and a nice list.
Ugh.
For members of Congress and senators.
Also on the Hill, new tensions with acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe testifying about the two Trump assassination attempts. The hearing erupting into a shouting match when a Republican congressman pressed Rowe about this scene where he stood behind Vice President Harris during this year's 9/11 ceremony at Ground Zero.
I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
Were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret
That's
Service
a bunch of
member
horse hockey.
that died on 9/11.
Wow. All right. Well,
God, the world is just a fucking disaster. Can we say it? The world is a fucking disaster.
just days after President Biden pardoned his son, Hunter, there's also word that potentially he'd be considering other pardons. What do you know about that?
Yes, let's walk you through this a little bit. President Biden has the right to do this before he leaves office at the end of January. He and his top staffers, Savannah and Hoda, are said to be discussing right now whether to grant these preemptive pardons to Trump critics who the White House fears may be facing potential retribution once President-elect Trump assumes office. That's according to the Washington Post that cites two people familiar with this matter. Among the names that are being considered, these are some of them. They are familiar names. They include Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Oh my
lead
God.
the nation's pandemic response. You see their retired general.
Yeah, so allegedly Biden is going to pardon these people just in case they get charged with anything when Trump takes office. That's the world we live in now. This is America now.
Mark Milley, who...
Like, what crime did Fauci commit?
Called Trump a fascist in the past. And former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, of course, she was and remains a fierce critic of President-elect Trump. She campaigned alongside Vice President Harris. The Post reports that the discussions are still evolving. It is not clear whether any of those individuals themselves want to be preemptively pardoned.
All right, Peter, thank you.
I don't think it matters if they want to. I don't think so. Here's a little more on the Trump victory.
Now to the Trump transition. The president-elect speaking in New York.
Whenever I hear the Trump transition, I picture Trump on HRT growing tits. Well, he already has them, but like perkier ones.
Last night, as his pick for defense secretary faces a battle on Capitol Hill, trying to win support from Republican senators. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, has the latest. Mary, good morning.
Hey, Whit, good morning. Yeah, the president-elect overnight making those rare public remarks since his win, and he talked up his transition even as this morning yet another one of his cabinet picks is in very real danger of not surviving the confirmation scrutiny.
Overnight, Donald Trump celebrating his election victory.
Oh, my God. Look how much...
with supporters in New York.
His ears are so many shades lighter than his face. What a fucking disaster.
Touting his transition.
I think you have seen more happen in the last 2 weeks than you've seen in the last 4 years, and we're not even there yet.
Trump accepting an award for patriotism from Fox News.
Biden better pardon Taylor Swift because she encouraged people to vote for Kamala instead.
But notably not mentioning the network's former host.
And Trump was like, I hate Taylor Swift.
Battled pick to lead the Pentagon.
I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you. Not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump.
At first I thought he was going to say God, but he basically said the name of his God, right?
But we've learned Trump has expressed to those close to him that Hegseth should have been more forthcoming about the challenge
President God Trump
he could face in the confirmation process, as he now fends off allegations of sexual misconduct, excessive drinking, and financial mismanagement. Multiple sources tell ABC News that Hegseth will be getting an FBI background check. His attorneys...
By the way, we've had presidents that were excessive drinkers. I don't know if that's exactly a deal breaker. Excessive drinkers have done good jobs, just as long as they're not drinking like while well, I guess many of them did drink while they were president, obviously, but when it comes to like really important shit, if they can stay sober then maybe they've got
saying
it.
they received FBI forms this week.
I'm a different man than I was
George Bush didn't drink at all
years ago. And that's a redemption story that I think a lot of Americans appreciate.
Hegseth can only afford to lose the support of 3 Senate Republicans and still get the job. Behind the scenes, Trump's team watching closely to see if he can win over female senators, given those allegations and Hegseth's insistence that women shouldn't serve in combat. So far, just 2 of the 9 female Republican senators are on his side, Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee and Katie Britt of Alabama. The support of Iowa Senator Joni Ernst will be critical. She's the first female combat veteran to serve in the Senate and a survivor of sexual assault.
Yeah, so she's a female combat veteran, and Hegseth has said multiple times before he knew he'd have a position like this that he doesn't think women should have combat roles, which is a regressive way of thinking.
But so far, she's not convinced.
I think for a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared, and that's why we have to have a very thorough vetting process.
Trump posting this morning that Hegseth's support is strong and deep, adding Pete is a winner, and there's nothing that can be done to change that.
So someone in the chat is saying Hegseth is just Nick Fuentes who managed to get into Roger Ailes' good graces. Hegseth's more like masculine than Nick Fuentes, though, right? Like Nick Fuentes is a little sissy boy, right? Hegseth is at least like a masculine guy. I don't fully see the comparison. Hegseth's a piece of shit for sure, but I don't see the Nick Fuentes comparison exactly.
Also making the rounds on Capitol Hill, billionaire Elon Musk and former Trump.
I wonder if that's his baby, like his kid with Grimes. Elon Musk has so many kids floating around there with so many different women. I don't know which kid that is, but the kid looks young enough to be the kid he had with Grimes years ago.
Rival Vivek Ramaswamy. The two tapped by Trump to lead his new outside advisory group on government efficiency, as overnight new FEC filings show Musk.
Why is Musk always making this weird, like, face?
Spent over $250 million of his own money to help Trump win the White House. Now, Pete Hegseth isn't Trump's only cabinet pick now facing serious pushback. This morning, nearly 100 former national security and intelligence officials in a letter are voicing real concerns about Tulsi Gabbard. Trump's pick, of course, to be director of national intelligence. They are citing her.
Trump's only real requirement is that you kissed his ass when he wanted you to. That's it. That's how you get ahead with Trump.
Experience and urging senators to carefully consider if she's really equipped for the job. George.
And Mary, inside the Biden White House, discussions of possible preemptive pardons for political targets for prosecution by the Trump team.
Yeah, George, look, members of the Biden administration are deeply concerned that Donald Trump is planning to make good on his promises of retribution against his political opponents. And now we have learned that the president's senior aides are weighing preemptive pardons for officials who they fear may be targeted, including former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, the senator-elect, General Mark Milley, and Dr. Anthony Fauci. This is all an effort to try and protect these people before they've even been charged with any crimes. George.
Mary Bruce, thanks very much.
All right. Here's some from Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Mr. Speaker, very productive meeting. Listen, I just say this is a very productive meeting with Republicans from the Senate and the House. Mr. Speaker, can you come here, please? No, I can't. I'm late for a portrait unveiling. I cannot miss that.
I'm late for a portrait unveiling. How many people watching right now have ever said that or have ever gone to a portrait unveiling? That is such a like bougie sounding thing to go to. I'm late for a portrait unveiling.
They're finishing up the last few comments. There'll be a lot more that's expressed in the days ahead. I doubt that Elon and Vivek are going to give.
Then I got to go to a yacht christening.
Comments today because we're in the early process of this, but stay tuned for more to come.
Yes or no?
Here she comes.
Social Security.
Yes, you bet.
How was the meeting in there and your role taking on as a subcommittee?
I thought the meeting went fantastic. It was exactly what we were looking for, a question and answer session with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. They were gracious with their time. Many of the members, pretty much almost all of them, lined up at 3 mics and went through the process of expressing their concerns, their frustrations, also talking about bills that they have sponsored and their ideas of how we can truly tackle this massive deficit, cut spending, and lower inflation.
What was the number one concern expressed in there overall?
The biggest concern is our debt. And
I wish someone would run against her and get rid of her. She needs to go
as a
away.
country, it doesn't matter where you fall on the political divide, this debt is going to crush every single one of us. And to quote Elon, he said something extremely important. Every single payment that the federal government pays out, we need to be checking those payments to see if they're legitimate. And that's something that hasn't been done. I don't know if it's ever been done. There's a massive amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that we have to tackle, and I will be doing that with my subcommittee. And I am looking
I don't think that, lower inflation. Inflation is very low. And the only way to reverse it is to go into a recession. Deflation.
forward to exposing every single unelected bureaucrat, every single agency that is wasting the American people's money, and the big government departments that need to be exposed for how they're not serving the American people.
Is there a call to cut $2 trillion in spending by 2026?
We didn't mention an exact number. All we talked about was cutting spending.
They always talk about cutting like good things too. Like, let's get rid of PBS, okay? Which, by the way, the budget for PBS is not that high. They always want to cut things that are like beneficial to the public.
Elon and Vivek talked about having a naughty list and a nice list for members of Congress and senators and how we vote and how we're spending the American people's money. I think that would be fantastic. But one thing is for sure, if we can cut spending, we'll be lowering inflation, and that'll be good for everyone.
When do you start work on your subcommittee? When does that kind of start?
Well, as we all know, the next Congress will convene on January 3rd. It'll take a few weeks to do the order of business, setting up committees and subcommittees, and then we'll be getting ready to roll towards the end of January.
Did Musk say that he would expose and shame Republicans for not cutting spending? I know that Chip Roy said that he had proposed that and Musk had agreed with him.
We'll have a recession depression.
Did he agree with him?
Elon said that there will be, he said, a good list and a naughty list. They also have great ideas that they'll be working on with DOGE. Now, this will be separate from Congress.
With DOGE.
They're talking about communicating with the American people, perhaps maybe even a weekly podcast or
a podcast, the Doge Department podcast.
Speak.
With Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy.
They want to bring in members of Congress and senators and let the American people hear from them about their ideas and the programs that they're trying to work on, bills they're trying to pass. But the biggest, most important thing that Elon wants to bring forward for the American people is information. His big concern that he talked about today is how many Americans don't even know that we have a deficit or a debt of $36 trillion. And he feels like if we can educate the American people, getting the American people...
He loves the poorly educated. What?
...on board, it puts the right pressure where it belongs on the House and the Senate to do this job correctly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's only now just starting, too. A little less than 2 months. What is this? This is why the QAnon community is excited about Trump's FBI pick.
Tonight, kindred. QAnon followers feel good about Kash Patel potentially leading the FBI, and you don't need
Clyde Kash Patel.
believe in conspiracies to see why. He has said nice things about them again and again.
Whether it's the Qs of the world, who I agree with some of what he does and I disagree with some of what he does, if it allows people to gather and focus on the truth. And
so this guy might be the head of the FBI. This guy who's like the Qs of the world.
Facts.
I agree with some of what he does.
For it.
Q has been so right on so many things. I'll get off that subject.
No, he has, and I agree with you. He has. He has. And you got to harness that following that Q has garnered, and just sort of tweak it a little bit. That's all I'm saying. People keep asking me about all this Q.
Did Trump just like put names into a hat and he's like, oh, these are all people who have kissed my ass? And he like shook it up and then drew names like, oh, this person's going to be the director of the FBI. Is that what's going on? And then he accidentally drew two names that were stuck together, and it was Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy. And he's like, oh, well, I'll just create a new department for these two.
What does it matter? What I'm telling you is that there is truth in a lot of things that many people say, and what I'm putting out there is the truth. And how about we have some fun along the way? There's so many people who have subscribed to the Where We Go One all mantra, and it's what's wrong with it?
Well, that's interesting. Tony O'Sullivan is here with us. First of all, who is Q?
By the way, Tony O'Sullivan looks like a leprechaun, okay? Like if he grew his beard out a little more and put on a little green suit, he would look like a leprechaun. So I just think it's interesting. It's interesting whenever he's on, because I picture him like promoting Lucky Charms or something.
Kash Patel seems to think that this person is real and telling the truth. You spent some time going down the rabbit hole. The followers of this conspiracy, which, by the way, has some really bizarre, vile aspects to it, they are thrilled by his nomination.
Yeah, they're really excited. I mean, you can sort of see there how Patel flirts with or engages with the QAnon community. Look, a lot of the times when he was on these shows...
He tried to steal me pot of gold.
The many kind of online MAGA media universe networks, it was to sell something. It was to sell his books or whatever. And we should point out that a Trump transition spokesperson today pushed back against any links between Patel and QAnon. Also said that this story was a pathetic, which is a difficult word for an Irish person to say, for me to say at least, pathetic attempt at guilt by association. But
we won't hold it against you.
Look, it's late, but we do have a clip. We went to Florida this week, spoke to a quote unquote QAnon influencer, a really big Q super fan, and here's what he had to say.
For a lot of people, Kash Patel engaging in the world of Q and QAnon at all, they'll say, well, that's disqualifying.
But what you're going to find out is that we have a mandate in America, and we want the FBI cleaned. 99% of the FBI is good, but there's a 1% that is not good.
The anonymous Q persona hasn't posted in a few years, but the world of QAnon is still very real for people like Jeffrey.
News unlocks what the Q posts are. Like, for example, Kashyap Patel, a name to remember. Kashyap Patel has just been nominated as the FBI director, right? That's a Q proof, what we call.
And look, obviously, a lot of this stuff is really wild. It's really out there. It's quite crazy. One thing, though, that in one of the clips we played there of what Patel spoke about was this community and tapping into the community. I mean, whether we like it or not, there is a lot of people who spend a lot of time on the internet alone, some of them, and folks are looking for
I'd like
community.
To name you,
and I think that is
as Patriot of the Year.
Thank you. I would really appreciate a Patriot of the Year award, because I am the most patriotic ever. So thank you.
Big part of these conspiracy theories and groups and cults and everything else we're seeing. It's people trying to connect, but in this way, obviously channeling that energy into something that's, one, quite dangerous.
Yeah, shared beliefs, even if it's completely made up.
Well, hopefully we're not disqualifying people from serving or trying to sell books, because Lord have mercy, virtually everybody who gets nominated for something has a book. I would just point out two things. One, politically, Patel, to me right now, has a lot of support in the Senate. I think a lot of these nominees, some are in trouble. I don't think he is right now. I mean, he's going to obviously have to go to the table and answer questions just like everybody else, but there's enthusiasm for him. 10 years ago, the FBI had a 59% approval rating. Today, it's like 41%. There's a lot of restoration work that needs to be done to restore public confidence in this agency. It probably does need a change agent, an outside change agent, and the Republicans right now, they like this nomination. There's a long way to go, but they like it right now.
This is kind of like how, you tell everybody that elections are rigged, and then when confidence in elections go down, we're like, everybody, we need to change elections.
Are you saying the FBI hasn't made any mistakes?
I'm just saying, when you spend years and years telling everybody the FBI is corrupt, they're going to.
Well, no, they have admitted some corruption. There have been internal reports where they have admitted there have been FBI agents that themselves have gotten criminally in trouble.
I actually think that's
They've made
exactly
mistakes.
the correct point, which is that the FBI has a process for going over their own misdeeds, and they did it multiple times in the case of the accusations that Trump has made about the agency, including in the John Durham report, which was heralded by Republicans.
Right.
That was an attempt to look at all of these things, and he found problems.
Right.
That's called a process.
That's evidence
But that's
that it's
why-
not rampant,
that's why
and that there's a
trust went
process
down.
to uncover that. Now, the other piece of this is, I just want to go back to something Maria said earlier. And my friend Scott says the president should get to a point whoever he wants to lead an agency, and there's a lot to that. But again, I still don't have an explanation for why the guy to lead the FBI would be someone who believes that there's a secret group of Satan-worshiping pedophiles who is like controlling the world order. I mean, that is literally what an admirer of the QAnon movement is supporting here in the case.
Literally
in the
on
case
the
of
record,
Kash Patel.
literally an on-the-record denial of connections, right, from the Trump transition between Patel and
we
this.
saw footage of
Literally
that.
and on the record.
We saw footage of that.
I disagree. He said I disagree with them
I'm
on
glad
a
we
lot
have
of
the tape
things.
that we just saw in this intro.
But I think
I think that's part of the point is that there's, I don't know about.
Why didn't he list the things he disagreed with to make it clear which parts he disagrees with?
Connections to QAnon because it's not really a real thing, but he's talked favorably about it.
Yeah, and I think as they.
By the way, trying to get to 400. We're at 320 right now. If you guys want to help out, it's pinned in the top of the chat. Help us get to the bonus show goal. Thank you so
Every
much.
conspiracy theory has that kernel of truth in it, and what we've seen is, yes, whether it's mistakes the FBI have made or corruption or whatever, everything, just like election denialism movement, it gets spun out of absolutely all proportion. So it goes from, a problem with a group within an organization to actually it's a whole conspiracy, and oftentimes then gets wrapped up in this kind of radicalization. A lot of the QAnon is really racist and anti-Semitic when you really get into it. So again, I think it goes back to taking advantage in a lot of way of people who are susceptible to falling into these rabbit holes. Like, if you're a QAnon follower, the world is a scarier place than, it is in reality, because the stuff that these people are being told on a day-by-day basis, which Trump and Patel is supposed to save them from, is really messed up.
Yeah, count yourself lucky if you're not deeply steeped in what this particular conspiracy is all about. But if you want to be, you can read Dhoni's piece. Everyone else, thank you very much for being here.
Damn. Looks like they're trying to ban TikTok again. They've tried this so many times, I think eventually they'll get it. Because they just keep plugging away at it.
Getting a news alert this morning on TikTok. For that, we're going to turn to Julia Borston. Hey, Julia.
That's right. A defeat for TikTok. A federal judge has refused to block the law that says that TikTok has to be divested by its parent company, Chinese ByteDance, by January 19th or will be banned. Now, the judge had been asked to review this and rule on whether TikTok must abide by the DOJ's ban to give them time to appeal this. So this is a defeat for TikTok. We do expect TikTok to appeal this up to the Supreme Court. We have reached out to TikTok for comment. We have not heard back yet. And of course, Carl, there is, of course, this wild card of what incoming President Donald Trump will do because he's going to be inaugurated the day after this ban is scheduled to go into effect. So a lot of questions here about what will happen next, but we do, in fact, expect TikTok to appeal this decision by the judge to refuse to block this law that would call for a ban or divestiture of TikTok.
Looking at some reaction out of shares of Meta, for example, Julia, that's going to be another all-time high, up a couple percent. There had been, I think, a school of thought, and you could see it in some of the stocks of social names in the last few days, that maybe this was in the offing.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you look at the potential implications for this, the companies that would benefit from the additional eyeballs and ad dollars would be Meta, Snap, and also YouTube. Those are the companies that are really competing for those social.
So yeah, if TikTok goes bye-bye, where's the U.S.-based user base going?
Ad dollars and eyeballs. But
iDollars. That sounds like an Apple product. That'll be Apple's crypto token, iDollars.
That this was unlikely to happen because President Trump had said that he did now oppose a ban, despite the fact that when he was in office the first time, he was advocating for a ban. So even though this judge has ruled the way that he has, there are still various options here for President Trump to say that, in fact, TikTok is in compliance with the law. And then we'll also see what the Supreme Court says. They could either opt to allow TikTok to continue operating while the litigation proceeds, or the Supreme Court could actually...
I like how it's just part of the ambiance of doing like financial news to have the like chatter of like the stock brokers and everything, the stock exchange in the background.
Just rule on this before January 19th.
Meantime, we haven't really talked a lot about the new law in Australia that bans social media use for kids under 16, I believe. But it is interesting the way some policy around the world is coming to collision with this industry.
Yeah, more and more criticism of the impact on teens and kids. We see companies like Meta really work to try to get ahead of this. They had their Instagram for teens. They're trying to age gate that. And then you have the fact that this Australia law really tries to put the pressure on these social platforms themselves to deal with that age gating, whereas companies like Meta would rather have the likes of Apple or Google, the app stores, be responsible for figuring out how old people are when they are downloading and using these apps. And there are just so many logistical challenges here. If you're 13 years old or 14 years old, you don't have an ID, you don't maybe want facial recognition used to figure out how old a kid is. So a complex issue. And then, of course, you have some states here in the U.S. that are also raising the issue of trying to limit access to social media platforms by teens. And that's something that, if there's a patchwork of these laws across the country, would be challenging for a Meta or, say, a Snap to manage.
Right. Thinking back to Benioff's comparison to social media and tobacco, and it's interesting to see how the regulatory structure is beginning to treat it like some kind of addictive substance. Julia, thanks for that breaking news there on TikTok. We'll watch for the stock's response.
Why doesn't anyone ever suggest that we make like IDs available to children for various purposes? Like, obviously they're not old enough to drive, and you know, I just like to identify who they are in case they need to be identified. I don't understand. Can someone explain that to me? Is there a reason why they don't do that? Like, whose kid is this? Oh. To what end? The end where they have IDs? I don't know. Maybe not make it required, but make it available. Like, if your kid wants to use TikTok or whatever, then they should be able to prove how old they are. You know? Well, obviously, it'd be a little more difficult to, like, ID a newborn and shit, or, like, a toddler. But maybe like after 10 years old, maybe they should have one. I had like high school IDs, but those are not like my high school ID could have been like it was cheap. I'll just say that. Oh God, with the technology we have now, kids could have like digital IDs where their photo could update. How is this idea bad? I didn't even say make it mandatory. I said just make it available. I think you're exaggerating a little bit. Like just make it available to have. If we want to limit how old people have to be to use certain things, there should be a way to verify it. Oh, what a shocker. The guy who lives in a fucking van doesn't think the government should track people. Yeah, we get it. They're still tracking you anyway, and if they want to bad enough, they will. Which they don't. They don't have a reason to. That's not what I fucking said, dude. Clean the shit out of your ears. I said it would make sense if people want to, if we're having a problem verifying the age of people who want to use certain platforms, then there should be an option for like an official ID that can be used for that sort of thing. I didn't say let's track children, dipshit. I said, why is no one talking about getting IDs for children? Lol, you're so funny, huh? Van life guy, so funny. It's so hilarious to tell people they're saying things that they're not saying. Huh? Are you mad, bro? You know what? I'll admit, when people are dipshits, it annoys me. So when you're a dipshit like you are about half of the time, it does annoy me. Yes. Yeah, it is funny to be stupid and call it a joke. I love it. Yeah, the guy who's probably using a smartphone to watch this right now is like is afraid of being tracked, but he willingly carries around a device that tracks his whereabouts. Oh, God. There was All right, here's something about the earthquake. Like it was an offshore earthquake in Northern California.
But we begin with the concerns for potential aftershocks this morning following an earthquake in California. The quake triggered a tsunami warning yesterday, but that warning has now been lifted. Hundreds of miles along the West Coast were placed on high alert after the 7.0 tremor struck just before 11 a.m. local time. It is the strongest the state has seen since.
It's up pretty far north. Because sometimes people say San Francisco is Northern California. But when I think of Northern California, I do think of Eureka, that area up there.
2019. CBS News correspondent Jason Allen is live in Eureka, California for us this morning and joins me now to discuss. So, Jason, we know that there were evacuations yesterday. What are you hearing about the possibility of aftershocks? Have there been any aftershocks?
Good morning, Vlad. We are having aftershocks now. Had them through the night, and we're having them again this morning. 3.0s, 3.2, 3.4 is even a 4.0 in the last 20 minutes or so. Now, the good news is
I'm the one who's mad.
We're not feeling
I'm the mad
those.
one.
At least we haven't felt them for the most part. Most of these are still occurring several miles offshore. So we don't feel those, but the possibility of aftershocks, it's still going to be increased here in the coming days, really throughout the week. As the time goes by, the possibility of larger aftershocks, that goes down, but we expect it to be pretty active here for the next several days.
So people who live in California, you know this as well as I do, they're used to earthquakes. You're used to earthquakes. But this one had people freaked out a little bit yesterday. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law live out in Northern California. They were a little freaked out. Why was it so different this time around?
It was the tsunami warning that came with this one, Vlad. Even if people felt the earthquake and there wasn't a lot of damage, when their phones lit up with that warning, that's what really got people's eyebrows raised. I talked to somebody last night who said as soon as that warning came across, and she lived in a low-lying area down by the water, she got in the car. She headed up to higher ground. Now, the fault in this case, this is one of those fault lines that just kind of slipped past each other, right? So it went to an east-west movement. If this had been a fault line where we had seen one section raise and go up, that's something that would have created that larger tsunami. There was a very small tsunami that was recorded. It was a third of a foot, so just a few inches. So that does show that the potential is there. In this case, it's good that it wasn't something more extreme, but that's really what got people's nerves going yesterday.
All right, Jason Allen for us this morning. Jason, thank you very much. Stay safe.
Let's see here. I've only felt one earthquake in my whole life, and it was so mild. I thought it was like a semi driving down the street or something. Oh no, this is nowhere near me. This is so far away from me. There was a tsunami. There was a tsunami alert. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but nothing happened. There wasn't, like, we're not on the coast. Yeah, so I guess they were worried about a tsunami like out on the coast going up into Puget Sound and causing a wave or something, but none of that happened.
A Chaska man arrested.
Let's watch. I downloaded a bunch of these pharmaceutical commercials. I thought they'd be interesting because sometimes I see them on TV and they're ridiculous, and people who aren't from the U.S. will find these amusing because you don't see these in your country, more than likely.
When migraine strikes, do you question the trade-offs of treating? With Ubrelvy, there's another option. Ubrelvy works fast. Most have migraine pain relief within 2 hours. You can treat it anytime, anywhere, without worrying where you are or if it's too late. Don't take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors.
Yeah, the really... This one isn't one of the weirder ones because it's like, oh, it's a wedding. But the weird part is all the like side effects that they have to list.
Allergic reactions to Ubrelvy can happen. Most common side effects were nausea and sleepiness. Migraine pain relief starts with you. Ask about Ubrelvy. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
That one wasn't too out there. It's like, oh, okay, he's a photographer at a wedding.
I'm Jordan, and these are my breasts. We've been through some big changes. Divorce, a new city, and a new grandson. Just as I was starting my next chapter, metastatic breast cancer. That's when I learned about Kisqali, a pill that stops cancer.
And they have Landslide playing. They got Stevie Nicks, her song Landslide. Was it a Fleetwood Mac song? I can't remember.
From growing and can help me live longer. Since then, I drove cross country, finished it.
So sometimes they'll even use celebrity endorsements, as you'll see
And
later
that
on.
list right now.
How they get away with this?
Kisqali can cause lung problems.
Here it
or an
is.
abnormal
Lung
heartbeat, which can lead
problems.
to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Tell your doctor right away if you
I've taken other medications where they told me not to take grapefruit or eat grapefruit.
have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems.
They got, yes. Yeah, Stevie Nicks got paid, or whoever owns the rights to this song got paid. The weird thing is that it's, that these pharmaceutical commercials, these are put out there so that the public can ask their doctor to prescribe these medications to them. That's what this is. Instead of the doctor figuring out what medications, we're encouraged by ads to ask our doctor.
Cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening.
I'm like pausing it a lot to break up the possible copyright claim.
Rash, are or plan to become pregnant, or breastfeeding.
I'm more than just breast cancer, and I have a lot more to go.
For more than a decade, Farxiga has been trusted again and again and again. Ask your doctor about Farxiga.
That was a quick one. Do you hike in the woods?
Weight loss is changing. For so long, I felt stuck on repeat. I tried and tried again, lost weight, gained it back.
But Zepbound means change. Zepbound's for adults with obesity to help lose weight and keep it off.
Activating 2 naturally occurring hormone receptors in my body, Zepbound works differently. It's changing what I believe is possible when it comes to weight loss. It's changing how much weight I lose, up to 48 pounds. And it's changing what happens.
A lot of these have weight loss as a side effect too. And they'll write you the prescription for some other illness, but in reality, you're just taking it to lose weight.
Don't take if allergic to it, or if you or someone in your family had medullary thyroid.
I like how they say, don't take it if you're allergic to it. Like, how would you know you're allergic to it until you take it? Doesn't that sound strange to anybody else?
Cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck. Stop Zepbound and call your doctor if you have severe stomach pain or a serious allergic reaction. Severe side effects may include inflamed pancreas or gallbladder problems. Tell your doctor if you are experiencing vision changes, taking a sulfonylurea or insulin, having suicidal thoughts, if you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and worsen kidney problems.
Zepbound means change.
And when it comes to weight loss,
Change is good. Discover the weight loss you could be bound for. Talk to your doctor about Zepbound.
Talk to your doctor about it. All right. Here's another one.
I was born with wings, but psoriasis swooped in to clip them. It
I see so many psoriasis commercials.
crushed my confidence. It kept me in the shadows.
But no longer will psoriasis get a piece of me. With Bimzelx, I can't wait to say, I'm back.
I'm back. I'm back. I can love my skin again.
Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation.
I can start getting myself back.
Bimzelx helps adults with moderate to severe psoriasis control plaques to deliver clearer skin fast for results that last.
I will give myself back the freedom of shorts. Dare to wear black again, from head to toe. Most people got 100% clear skin.
I'm willing to bet the people in this commercial didn't even actually have psoriasis. It's kind of like how the shampoo commercials, like they'll pick a model with like flawless hair to do like a dandruff commercial.
Some after the first dose. Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Start to get yourself back.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx.
Still have moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease symptoms after taking a medication like Humira or Remicade? Put them in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When symptoms try to take control, I got rapid relief with Rinvoq. Check.
When flares tried to slow me down, I got lasting remission with Rinvoq. Check. And many were in remission, even at nearly 2 years.
And Rinvoq helped visibly reduce damage of the intestinal lining. Check.
Rapid symptom relief, lasting remission.
And visibly reduced damage.
Oh, and by the way, I asked this question earlier, and I just looked up my answer. At least in my state, you can get an official state ID for someone of any age. I never hear anyone talk about this, so I assumed that it just wasn't available until someone was like at least old enough to drive. Ugh, but apparently you could get your 5-year-old a state ID card if you wanted to.
Check.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before
at least in this
test
state.
for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Put UC and Crohn's in check and keep them there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq.
Yeah, earlier we were watching a news segment about TikTok getting banned, and they were talking about the problems identifying the age of people who want to use social media, like TikTok, because they're banning like people below a certain age from using it, and they have to prove that they're above. Like they're having trouble verifying that. So mine was my idea was like, well, they should make IDs available for kids who want to use social media to prove their age. And I was accused of wanting the government to track kids or something. It's like, I don't know. It's like, what the fuck?
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Capilita. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Capilita is proven to deliver significant symptom relief.
And of course, you could get a passport for a kid, but passports are kind of, they do last like 10 years though. That'd be weird. You get a passport for a 5-year-old, and then by the time you have to renew it, they're 15. Obviously, they look totally different. Or do kids' passports have to be updated more often? I don't know.
From both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Capilita can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults.
I don't know. So, like, someone showed up. They had no fucking clue what I was talking about. They accused me of wanting the government to like track children. They assumed a whole bunch of shit about what I was saying, and then they got all they said I sounded mad about it, and then they got all pissy and left.
Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles, which may be life.
The only thing I was saying about it was allowing like easier age verification for like social media. It's the only reason I even brought it up. Didn't say it should be mandatory. Didn't say we needed it for anything else. That's the only thing I was talking about.
Threatening or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may
But you would have thought I said like put a GPS chip under their skin at birth.
be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
Ah, man, not as many of these. Some of these are kind of mild. There's one I have in here that had like Henry Winkler and shit.
Molly leaving was one thing, but then I thought Mom's weak bones might keep us stuck on the couch. No way.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and are at high risk for fracture,
They love putting pets into these drug
you can do
commercials
more
too.
than just slow bone loss. You can build new bone in just 12 months with Evenity. Evenity is proven to reduce spine fracture risk by 73%.
I heard her say the Evenity she's taking builds new bone. Builds new bone!
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a cardiovascular problem. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions and low blood calcium have occurred. Tell your doctor about jawbone problems as they have been reported with Evenity, or about pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred.
Building new bone? We dig it.
Want stronger bones? Ask your doctor about building new bone with Evenity. If you have wet AMD, you never want to lose sight of the things you love. Some things should stand the test of time. Long-lasting Eylea HD could significantly improve your vision and can help you go up to 4 months between treatments. If you have an eye infection, eye pain or redness, or allergies to Eylea HD, don't use. Eye injections like Eylea HD may cause eye infection, separation of the retina, or rare but severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye. An increase in eye...
Got a McRib food hack coming up. Sweet. I've never had a McRib. Never had a McRib before.
There's an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. The most common side effects were blurred vision, cataract, corneal injury...
These are when I watch like regular TV, like whether it be cable TV or even TV you pick up with an antenna, these are the majority of the commercials I see are for these medications. It must be effective because there's so many of them.
And eye floaters. And there's still so much to see. If you are on Eylea or a similar type of treatment, ask your retina specialist about Eylea HD today for the potential for fewer injections.
Yeah. Have they ever found like a bone fragment in a McRib? Probably not, because it's like all processed. Yeah, some of the side effects are ridiculous. It's like, why would you want to take that? They found your tooth fragment. Delicious. The ones that are crazy to me are the antidepressant drugs that have like their most prominent side effect is like thoughts of suicide and shit. I've never. It seems so risky. Oh. Yeah, self-medicate. Time for a big fat bong rip. Where's Ozempic? Ozempic's the most famous pharmaceutical drug in the world right now. Do I still have it on here? Here it is.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone.
Ozempic.
I got the power of 3. I lowered my...
Generations of children are going to grow up hearing this jingle and think it's just the Ozempic song and not know that it was like a regular song at one time.
A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
I'm under 7.
Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease.
I'm lowering my risk.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people.
That's the main reason people take it.
People with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or...
So one's taking a boxing class, one's taking a line dancing class. I think the other one's doing the indoor skydiving stuff.
If allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
They have one of those places in the Seattle area over kind of close to the airport.
That's about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
I just thought it looked interesting. Ozempic. There's also Skyreezy for Sheezy.
If you're living with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis or
Psoriasis.
active psoriatic arthritis, symptoms can sometimes hold you back. But now there's Skyrizi, so you can be all in with clear skin.
Things are getting clearer. Yeah, I feel free. To burn my skin, yeah, that's on me. Nothing is everything.
With Skyrizi, you can show up with 90% clear skin. And if you have psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi can help you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clear skin.
It was someone's job to come up with the name for this medication. You know, that's not the actual, like, scientific name for the medication.
And better movement, and that means everything. Now's the time. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Yeah, here's another thing that you might find amusing if you're not American. We have, and I've used this before, it does work. For people who have no insurance or like shitty insurance that doesn't cover medication, there's this thing called GoodRx, and it's an app that you put on your phone, and it creates like coupons for you to get discounts on medication.
Looks like you've got a prescription to fill. The exact same drug that's $10 at this pharmacy.
Should it just be the same cost everywhere?
$150 at this one. GoodRx finds prices and discount coupons. Just input the drug name and instantly find savings at virtually every pharmacy in America.
GoodRx.
Yeah. Why is that a thing? Why do we need to put an app on our phone to get cheaper medication? Why are there coupons for medication? It's weird because you go there and you type in the medication you need and it tells you the cost at each pharmacy in your area. We need a good intoxicants coupon app. Yes. Sign me up. I'm ready to go. Good R intoxicants X.
My mental health was better, but uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia, started disrupting my day.
So he's taken some sort of psychiatric med, but it's making him like shake, uncontrollable muscle movements. So now he has to take another medication to fix that problem.
It felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnecting. I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza.
Ingrezza is clinically proven for reducing TD. Most people saw results in just 2 weeks. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. Only #1 prescribed Ingrezza has simple dosing for TD. Always.
So if you're on a medication that makes you twitchy, keep taking it and then take this other one on top of it.
1 pill once daily. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Yeah. Do you have any problems thinking? You might have problems thinking. Yeah, I don't know. The whole side effect thing is just mind-blowing to me. Because those came out in studies, I would say, and then that's the reason why they have to put it in their ad. Brain not works so good.
She found it. The feeling of finding the psoriasis treatment she's
So many psoriasis
been
medications.
looking for. She found Sotyktu, a once-daily pill for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, for the chance at clear or almost clear skin. It's like the feeling of finding that outfit psoriasis tried to hide from you, or finding your swimsuit.
Oh my God!
Is ready for prime time.
Dad,
Once daily Sotyktu was proven better, getting more people clearer skin than the leading pill. Don't take if you're allergic to Sotyktu. Serious reactions can occur. Sotyktu can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections, cancers including lymphoma, muscle problems, and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver or kidney problems, high triglycerides, or had a vaccine or plan to. Sotyktu is a TYK2 inhibitor. TYK2 is part of the JAK family. It's not known if Sotyktu has the same risks as JAK inhibitors. Find what plaque psoriasis has been hiding. There's only one Sotyktu.
That was a weird turn. He was wearing like wearing a bikini bottom. He was, at least it wasn't like a full-on banana hammock, I guess. Was it this one?
Smile, you found it. The feeling of finding psoriasis can't filter out the real you. So go ahead, live unfiltered with the one and only Sotyktu, a once daily pill for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis and the chance at clear or almost clear skin. It's like the feeling of finding you're so ready for your close-up, or finding you don't have to hide your skin, just your background. Once daily Sotyktu was proven better.
Sotyktu.
Getting more people clearer skin than the leading pill. Don't take if you're allergic to Sotyktu. Serious reactions can occur. Sotyktu can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections, cancers including lymphoma, muscle problems, and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver or kidney problems, high triglycerides, or had a vaccine or plan to. Sotyktu is a TYK2 inhibitor.
Ha! That dude thought she was waving at him and was like, hell yeah. Did you see this? Like, why? It's funny how they put that in the commercial. She's like there to meet some old lady, maybe her mom or her grandmother, and this dude's like, hey, she's into me.
Problems and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver,
and then he's like, oh
problems,
shit,
high triglycerides, or had a vaccine or plan to. Sotyktu is a TYK2 inhibitor. TYK2 is part of the JAK family. It's not known if Sotyktu has the same risks as JAK inhibitors. Find what plaque psoriasis has been hiding. There's only one Sotyktu, so ask for it by name. So clearly you. Sotyktu.
There you have it. Right, they tell you not to take it if you're allergic. But then how would you know if you're allergic? Yeah, but they put it in the commercial, and it's like, so like if you take it and you die, can they be like, oh, we told people not to take it if they're allergic? Is that really a thing? Is that it? It is a sponsor. I'm sponsored by all of these medications. So, I am going to wrap this one up, and I'll be back later today because we have a Patreon show later tonight. So I'm gonna go start getting that ready. And don't forget, you can gift Patreon memberships now, which is pretty cool. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.